ॐ अक्षरानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नित्यानंद नमस्तुभ्यं प्रेमानंदप्रदायिने कलौ कल्मषनाशाय जानवापतये नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरतुसे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So, welcome everyone for today's discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So, we are discussing from chapter 2 and verse number 67. So, yesterday also we discussed this verse. Indriyanam hi charatam yanmano anubhidhiyate tadasya hariti pragyam vayurnavam ivam bhasi. As a strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence. So Lord Krishna explains in this verse, if one's mind is not fixed upon him, then such a person is forced, his mind and senses are forced to roam. So it is the condition of a boat in the ocean which is having no anchor. So, as a strong wind, a single strong wind is sufficient to sweep away a boat on the water. Similarly, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence. That means his intelligence will be lost and he will also be lost in the material existence. So, one of the roaming senses. That means uh, if one becomes attached to even one of the objects of the senses upon which the mind or the senses focuses too much, then such a person's intelligence is lost and he is also permanently lost. Means at least in this world, he loses the opportunity to become fully Krishna conscious. So we discuss this with one example from Bhagavatam. Ajamila is one of the senses eyes. He just saw something which was not to be seen, especially a Brahmana or Vaishnava is not supposed to see such scenes which agitates the mind. But Ajamila had this even unwillingly, and then because of this, his entire life just got wasted in performing so many different kinds of sinful activities. So this is one example we discussed yesterday. Another example we find of many great sages. One of the senses, ears. Is also very dangerous. Dangerous if one focuses upon sound vibrations which agitates the mind, then also there is possibility that the man's intelligence is lost. In the Bhagavatam, there are also examples of animals who becomes captivated because of one sense object. and in this way they lost their life. They lose, they risk their life, uh, just like this deer is captured by sound vibration. The hunter plays a very nice sound vibration, and the deer becomes fully absorbed in hearing that particular sound. And in this way, she is completely captured, and the hunter easily uh, takes her away. Similarly, there is example of this flies, a particular fly which gets attracted towards the bright light of fire, and she just goes towards it and loses her life. Similarly, there is example of this tongue fish. Fish in the water, the fisherman puts some objects to eat, and fish, because of being unable to control the tongue, she gets stuck and it is captured. And then there is example of elephant. Elephant becomes captured by touch sensation. So those who means trap elephant, they have a trained sea elephant, and she just goes towards male elephant, and slightly she touches the body of uh, a male elephant, and that male elephant becomes agitated, and then sea elephants runs from there, and on the way, uh, this the person who plans everything, he makes a big ditch, and it is covered with grasses. Sea elephant who is trained, she passes from the side, and the male elephant who has lost his intelligence, he just runs after the sea elephant, and as soon as the ditch comes, he gets captured. This is another example, touch sensation. And then sensation of nose. So bumblebees, bees, they just by smelling the sweet aroma of a flower, uh, she gets stuck within the petals of the flower, because as soon as the sun sets, the flower petals closes, and in this way the bees they lose their life. So these examples, so all these animals in Bhagavatam, these examples are given. So all these animals are captured by one of their senses. Uh, so one of their senses becomes very uncontrolled, and then they lose their life. But about human being, it is said that all the five senses are equally potent. And if a human being gets an opportunity for any of the five senses to enjoy its sense object, then he loses his intelligence and he is carried away. That's why it is very much required that one becomes very careful while dealing with objects of the senses in this material world. Until unless one's mind is completely fixed at the lotus feet of the Lord, surely uh, he is going to get bewildered and his intelligence will be lost, as much as the boat in the ocean which has no anchors. There are so many waves, and sometimes high waves in the ocean, and then there is no guarantee in which direction the boat will go, and eventually after some time the boat sinks down in the ocean. Similarly, the person whose mind is not fixed completely, which was explained in the previous verse, nasti buddhira yuktasya. Ayuktasya means who is not properly connected in Krishna consciousness. So surely uh, uh, he is living he is living a very risky life, because anytime uh, he gets the opportunity for any of his senses to focus on its object, So there is high degree of possibility he'll get entangled and his intelligence will be lost. Uh, Harati Pragya. Harati Pragya means intelligence is lost. What does this mean? Intelligence is lost. This means even if a person knows very well what is good, what is not good, what is right, what is wrong, still, if he has not developed perfect Krishna consciousness, so when one of his senses focuses on certain object, uh, Indriyanam Charata, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses, so it will carry away the man's intelligence, means he will forget or he will be unable to discriminate this is right or wrong, and forcefully, helplessly, he will be dragged towards those sense objects. And in this way, he loses the wonderful opportunity to advance in Krishna consciousness. So unless all of the senses are engaged in the service of the Lord, even one of them engaged in sense gratification can deviate the devotee from the path of transcendental advancement. Uh, unless all of the senses, suppose all the senses are engaged in service of the Lord, just one sense is focusing or engaged in sense gratification. Is still uh, the devotee who is engaged uh, in the path of transcendental advancement, he will be deviated. He will get distracted. It's just like if you get 10 food items to eat, and all the 9 items are very nourishing, nectarian, and pure, but only one item, uh, food item, is containing poison. So, what do you think? What will happen? Immediately, the person will die. It is similarly. Just one drop of poison is sufficient. If one mixes it in a pot of water, it can create, means it can make the person lose his life, it can kill the person. Similarly, one of the senses which is engaged otherwise means not in Krishna's service. So that's why sometimes some devotees they think uh, I have left everything, all sense gratification I have left, and I'm engaging completely in the service of Krishna. This just one thing. This is the only thing I am maintaining sense gratification. I have left means many 10, 15, 20 sense gratification. Just one I'm having. So, but still there is risk. Lord Krishna says this. One of the When the mind focuses on one of the senses, it will it can create havoc. The person will lose everything. It is so dangerous. That's why strictly one should avoid all kinds of distracting objects from his life. Otherwise, one cannot fully focus on Krishna consciousness. So as mentioned in the life of Ambrish Maharaj, all of the senses must be engaged in Krishna consciousness, for that is the correct technique for controlling the mind. So the best technique for controlling the mind, if one at all wants to fully control the mind, then one must control all the senses. And the only method for controlling the senses is to engage it in serving Krishna. Just like if one wants to save the boat in drowning, from drowning in the ocean or the body of water. So one has to protect the boat from all sides. Even if there is one small hole from where the water is coming in inside the boat, then that will make the boat drown in the ocean, isn't it? You cannot say 98% of the boat is completely protected from the water, but only 2% hole is there at the corner of the boat, but that will create the water will come inside and it will make the boat drown in the ocean. Similarly, even if somebody is able to control all the senses from all the sense objects and engaging with Krishna's service, but only one sense, and that too he is engaging in only up one or two objects of the sense gratification. But the problem is through that activity also the poisonous water of sense gratification will enter into the uh, boat-like heart, and that will drown the living entity who is passenger within the boat heart. We are passengers, so that's why. That's why this is the warning always that one should not give chance to any of the senses uh, to get distracted. Otherwise, it will cause spiritual death for us. This is a very serious thing. Sometimes devotees they take it very lightly. I have given up everything. I'm just maintaining um, some a friendship with my friend circle, those friends who are breaking for regular principles. I'm not breaking. Or sometimes it happens I am strictly following through three regulatory principles, only this one regulatory principles I cannot give up. So what is the harm? I just sometimes I just smoke, very rarely, but sometimes I just smoke. But I have given up meat eating. I have given up all my girlfriends, no illicit sex, and no meat eating, no gambling. And in intoxication also, I have given up drinking everything. I just sometimes smoke. So what is the problem? But the problem is there. I'm not saying. Earlier, when I used to say, especially our youth devotees, it did not enter into the heart. But just see, Lord Krishna is saying here, Indriyanam hi charatam yan mano anubhidhiyate. Because the problem is, if even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses, because the focus of the mind will shift. This is the problem. The focus of the mind is very precious. Uh, if it gets shifted towards only one object, so ultimately the poisonous water of sense gratification will enter within the heart, or it will not enter. It is already there, and we are allowing it by not abandoning uh, this all the objects of sense gratification, especially these four reality principles, all the objects of the senses which cause us to break four reality principle, any one of them. So that will not let us completely free our heart from uh, the dangerous type of poisonous water of sense gratification. So this is a great poison, more poisonous than potassium cyanide. One who just tastes potassium cyanide, he immediately dies. But at least he dies one time. But one who allows even a single object of sense gratification within his heart, so that will make him die again and again, again and again, again and again. And this is so dangerous. So that's why those who are really serious and genuine to make a spiritual advancement, they never compromise with any of the distracting activity. They want to give up all distracting activity. In the Bhagavatam, it is said, those who are spiritually advanced, especially those who are very, very spiritually advanced, those who are spiritually advanced, never, never trust the mind. That is there in the Bhagavatam. Exactly, I don't remember the words in Bhagavatam. I think it will come here. Yes, 5.6.4. So one should never trust one's mind. Nityam dadati kamasya chidram tamanuyarya. Yoginah kritamaitrasya pityojai pumshali. Something happened. The yogi if the yogi gives his mind a chance and does not restrain it, his mind will give facility to enemies like lust, anger, greed, and they will doubtlessly kill the yogi. Wow. It's a very nice verse. I should share it. And the example is also the example which is given here. That is also very wonderful example. But don't mind. Mataji should not mind it. This is not it is not applicable to all the Matajis. And that's why it is clearly written here. Unchaste women, not who are devotee women, who are strictly following the related principles, but those pumshali, where it is written pumshali. Pumshali means who is unchaste or easily carried away by other men. So they are known as pumshali. And swairani. Swairani means those who are fully independent, no protection from any husband, father, or son. So such women are known as swairani, who independently wander here and there. So there is high degree of chances that they may get polluted. And pumshali means they are easily carried away by other men. So an unchaste woman is very easily carried away by paramours, and it sometimes happens that her husband is violently killed by her paramours. This example is given in the Bhagavatam. It says fifth canto, sixth chapter, and fourth verse. So, similarly, the example Sudhir Goswami is giving, just like an unchaste wife who is easily seduced or easily carried away by paramours, so she can cause the death of her husband and violently killed by her paramours. So similarly, mind is like wife. If it is sati, means if it is very chaste, it can help the yogi to achieve complete perfection, spiritual perfection. Just like if one is very fortunate to get a wife who is very completely chaste. So with the help of such a chaste wife, the husband can make tremendous spiritual advances. Just like in the life of Kardamuni and the life of many great sages, uh, they got nice help. Similarly, a yogi whose mind is completely chaste to the lotus feet of Krishna. So his mind makes means provides the yogi very best facility to advance in spiritual consciousness. But if one a person gets an unchaste woman, so there's possibility not only his spiritual life is spoiled, but materially also she may be killed and become devastated. There are examples, and we know in this age of Kali, there are many examples of such cases where the husband is completely devastated because of getting such women who are not fully chaste. So similarly, if the yogi gives his mind a chance and does not restrain it, his mind will give facility to enemies like lust, anger, and greed, and they will doubtlessly kill the yogi. Srila Prabhupada writes, in this verse, the word pumshali refers to a woman who is easily carried away by men. Such woman is never to be trusted. So in the scriptures, when it is said that women should not be trusted, so it refers to pumshali, means those women who are easily carried away by men and who are not chaste. So unfortunately, in the present age, women are never controlled according to the directions of Shastras. Women are never to be given freedom. When a child, a woman must be strictly controlled by her father. When she is young, she must be strictly controlled by her husband. When she is old, she must be controlled by her elderly sons. If she is given independence and allowed to mingle unrestrictedly with men, she will be spoiled. A spoiled woman being manipulated by paramours might even kill her husband. This example is given here because a yogi, desiring to get free from material conditions, must always keep his mind under control. Always means always, not even a single opportunity. We should not think that, okay, uh, let the mind enjoy only one sense gratification. No. Just like a woman, she's never given the, means, I mean to say, given the chance to get spoiled. Not even a single chance is given to get spoiled. That's why they are always very protected. The similarly, mind also. Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that in the morning, our first business should be to beat the mind with shoes 100 times, and before going to beat the mind 100 times with broom stick. In this way, one's mind can be kept under control. And an uncontrolled mind and an unchaste wife are the same. An unchaste wife can kill her husband at any time, and an uncontrolled mind followed by lust, anger, greed, madness, envy, and illusion can certainly kill the yogi. When the yogi is controlled by the mind, he falls down into the material condition. One should be very careful of the mind, just as husband should be very careful of an unchaste wife. So that's why, because in this age, those who are conditioned souls, uh, their mind is not fully chaste, so one should not trust the mind. This one should understand. Combined days constitute bondage to fruit. What learned man would put faith in the mind? So the mind is the root cause of lust, anger, pride, greed, lamentation, illusion, and fear. Combined, these constitute bondage to fruitive activity. So what learned man would put faith in the mind? That means anyone who is really learned and educated, so he will never put faith in the mind, understanding very well that it will cause my spiritual death. So mind is the original cause of material bondage. So, so this is explained in the Bhagavatam. So that's why those who are advanced transcendentalists, they never trust their mind. Means they only follow exactly as it is, with no argument, with no objection. They completely as it is follow whatever instruction is given by the acharyas, sastras, and devotees. They don't listen to the mind. There's one verse that was mentioned. Okay, anyway. So, uh, yes. So even in one of the senses, one gives a chance, so there will be possibility that it will create a loophole in our spiritual practice advancement, and that loophole will may cause us seriously may cause our spiritual fall down. So that's why one must be very careful. And therefore, Lord Krishna in the next verse, tomorrow we'll take this verse. Tasmad yasya mahabaho nigrahitani sarvasha. Lord Krishna says very clearly, nigrahitani sarvasha. Sarvasha means from all sides, all around. Therefore, O mighty arm, one whose senses are restrained from their objects, certainly of steady intelligence. So tasmad yasya mahabaho nigrahitani sarvasha. From all sides, one must curb down one's senses, indriyani, indriyarthebhya, senses, all the senses from all sides, from indriyartha. Indriyartha means objects of the senses. Tasya prajna pratishtha. Such a person's intelligence is considered to be completely fixed at the lotus feet of Krishna. Tasya prajna pratishtha. Okay. This verse we'll discuss tomorrow. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. If anyone of you are having any questions, you can ask. Hare Krishna. So either we should have the power, the strength to say no to temptations or distraction, dictations of the mind. But if somewhere we are lacking, so we should take it from devotee association. That's why devotee association, sadhu sangha, sarva santraka. Sadhu sangha is very important. In the association of devotees, we get the power. Uh, And because in the association of devotees, we get the opportunity to engage all of our senses in Krishna consciousness, and because of which there will be no possibility that any of the senses may wander here and there. So risk, although risk is always there, but at least in the association of devotees, when we are fully engaged 24 by 7, so even though risk is there, but still we are fully safe and protected. But what if we are completely away from the association? We are completely dependent on the mind. Then there is no possibility, um, because mind is our enemy. It will kill us. That's why those who are serious to make spiritual advancement, they immediately they come in the association of devotees and they give up association of non-devotees. And the greatest non-devotee is mind. Uh, I said, one devotee, youth boy, I said, how long you will maintain association with the with this bad association? When will you give up completely bad association? He said, प्रभु मैंने छोड़ दिया. आपने बोला ना, मैं अपने सारे वो फ्रेंड्स को छोड़ दिया जो लोग चार नियम तोड़ते हैं. सारी माता जी से बात करना छोड़ दिया, सबको ब्लॉक कर दिया, सारे ऐसे फ्रेंड्स भी छोड़ दिया. बोला दैट्स वेरी नाइस, गुड, बट स्टिल यू हैव वन वेरी बैड एसोसिएशन. एक बहुत बड़ा बैड एसोसिएशन आप उसको नहीं छोड़ रहे हो. कौन है वो? माइंड. द ग्रेटेस्ट बैड एसोसिएशन इज माइंड. माइंड को नहीं छोड़ते हैं ना. हाँ. हम मन जो बोलता है वही करते हैं. गुरु साधु शास्त्र जो बोलते हैं वो नहीं सुनते हैं, मन जो बोलता है उसको सुन लेते हैं. So we are so habituated to associate with the mind, so much so our deep friendship is there with the mind that sadhu, devotees, shastras, वो बार बार हमको बोलते हैं that you don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And mind just says one time, yes, my dear mind, I am ready to follow you. Devotees, they say so many times, they say, come in the association of devotees, come, come, come. तो इतने बार सैकड़ों बार बोलने के बाद वो सोचता है चलो प्रभु जी इतने बार बुला रहे हैं तो चलो एक बार चलते हैं. और जब आ जाता है तो जस्ट वन टाइम माइंड सेज अरे बहुत हो गया, अभी बैठ लिया ना 2 घंटा, सुन लिया ना, अभी चलो. तो एक बार मन बोल देता है फिर चला जाता है. और फिर उसके बाद डिवोटी को 100 बार बुलाना पड़ता है तब किसी तरह से आता है. और फिर मन एक बार बोल के ले चला जाता है. फिर मन आने को बोलता है क्या? फिर मन आने को नहीं देता है. मन बोलता है क्या जरूरत है. सो दैट्स व्हाई एसोसिएशन ऑफ माइंड छोड़ना चाहिए. So the day one gives up the association of mind, he is immediately protected. तुरंत प्रोटेक्शन को प्राप्त कर लेता है. इसीलिए हम लोग गुरु वंदना में गाते हैं ना, गुरु मुख पद्मावाक्या चीते ते कोरिया क्या आरा करिहा मने आशा. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya. The instructions of my spiritual master, I make it my life and soul. Chitete Korea Aikya. Only within my heart, I keep only the instruction of my spiritual master. Arana Karya Mane Asha. Uh, I do not desire to follow anything within my mind. I don't listen to what the mind says. So this is the only possibility. But that's not possible for me. Why not possible? Possible, it's possible. Yeah. Devotee association doesn't only mean physical association, but of course, physically, when we live in the association of devotees, that is very more powerful. Especially those who are Prabhujis, youth boys, they have such a wonderful opportunity. They can come in the temple, stay there. We have base facility. You can come and live in the base, associate with devotees, and there is no restriction. Of course, if one wants to permanently stay in the temple, one has to leave his studies, job, everything, business, and become a full-time monk like me. But because if that is also required, one must do it because advancement in spiritual life is the most important thing. Why can't we leave everything for the sake of advancing spiritual life? There's nothing wrong in leaving, sacrificing everything for the sake of advancing Krishna consciousness. But uh, devotees are very merciful. So they find that, oh, those who cannot immediately give up everything and come and live in temple full time monk. So then we have designed this system of bases outside the temple. So there, the same thing there, association of devotees, morning program, nice association, prasadam, and deity worship, so everything is there. And you get the opportunity in daytime, you can go out for studies, college, job, business. And again, evening, you come back uh, and associate with devotees, engage in preaching services, take a good sleep, get up early in the morning, chant Hare Krishna, complete morning program, take prasadam, and again go to your studies, job, business, whatever it is. This is also such a wonderful opportunity. So one should take advantage of it. So this is there, at least for youth boys, this opportunity is there. And for Matajis, so whatever best is there, take advantage through online classes and visiting the temples. You can go and visit temples and engage in some services associated with devotees and come back and practice those. And those who are not living uh, near the temple, so they can make their house a temple, a small temple, and practice whatever is being taught in the classes from whatever we learn from Prabhupada books. So anything, this can be practiced, but it is very difficult at home. So, but whatever best we can do, we should do. Okay. Sumit Pro is sharing something. Yes.